welcome back to Total Spotfest. This is JJ Brownlee. That right there, that's Jamie Faulkner. We are coming back at you with another action-packed. Actually, every week I say it, action-packed.
You always say action-packed. You got to come with something different.
It's like we sit here and talk for an hour. I don't know how packed that action is, but hey, to us, it's action-packed. But no, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We do appreciate you giving some of your time. If you are watching us on YouTube, as always, drop a comment down below, join the conversation. Otherwise, you can hit us up on Twitter at TotalSpotFest. Jamie, how's your week been? I know the answer to this because you haven't. You need the weekend already.
I need the weekend. I need a big bottle of vodka and no kids for like a strong 3 days, and no work even longer.
Well, the no work is paramount for sure. It's been a stressful time at work for Jamie, especially this past week. But the kids been getting raised into hell lately, or is it just
one of them? Just one.
Just the one. And we're not going to name names here. I can take a guess. We're not going to name names here, but
yeah, we're not going to name names. But if you have children that are in between the ages of 19 and 7, it could be any one of them any single day.
Everybody with children right now is empathizing with you immensely, and I'm just sitting here and do whatever the F I want, Phil. Just like that must suck,
right?
Oh Lord. Well. Let's talk. We're gonna get into some wrestling. Hopefully that'll cheer you up at least for a spell here. So disconnect from everything. We disconnected this past Friday. So this past Friday was Journey Pro again. Edwardsville show, wild thing we went to out at the ball field. Jamie brought most of his family to it, including brought your
everybody.
Wife, almost everybody,
other than Bailey,
except for your oldest. You know, too cool for school, the oldest daughter, but even your wife, her first independent wrestling show.
She had fun. She really enjoyed Heidi a lot. She
Good.
thought Heidi was great. She enjoyed the main event with the Howlets. Of course, everybody loves the Howlets, and the interaction between Jeremy Wyatt and myself. She really appreciated that. She looked at me like she saw our interactions. She's like when Jeremy Wyatt's like, you need to come up with new material. I'm like, I'm committed to the bit. So, it was good.
I was really hopeful that he would do like a thing with her. It was like, you're married to him. One of those things.
Like how he did it to Megan. He's like, oh, you're related to him?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. That was, yeah.
But then I thought about it. It's the bit he did last month, too. So it's like, he can't rehash too much. Plus, there's a lot of hate there. I know he got into it on the way into the rings. One of our friends over at I-70 Hot Tag. Go check out our friends over at the I-70 Hot Tag podcast, by the way. Fellow Kansas City wrestling podcasters. Good guys there. One of the dudes had his son there, and his son is the kid who had gotten Jalistico's hat. And he's a very vocal young man at wrestling shows. And so upon entrance, Wyatt was drawn there to the feud, but no, it was a good time. It was a really chill. See, the thing I like about it, and the thing that's interesting, and you made this mention, is that it's like, hey, we can't get a loud chant going, and I go, well, we're spread out amongst a baseball field outside. It's like I went to the bathroom. Luckily, the porta potty was closer this year, thank God. But out there, and I took a little vape break and everything, and it's like it was good. It was a good sounding crowd. It's just dissipated by the open air a little bit, so it's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I was disappointed when Chris Bay came out and we started doing the two sweets, too sweet, whoop whoop, and like nothing. Like it felt like it was nothing. Like 5 guys. It's like, come on, man. Like get New Japan on. Like for all of us.
It was more than that, but it didn't feel like it for sure. Absolutely. I had a hand in, and then had a coward moment, but then reveled in and took credit for all the meat going around with Moonshine.
Meat Shine, yeah,
Good old Meat Shine. Because
Meat Shine Mantel.
Well, on the pre-show, I did it with our friend Michael Reed here, who you guys might remember sat in for Jamie when he was on vacation.
Which, thank you, Michael, for stepping in. Audrey had a performance. She was a junior Rapec cheerleader, so she had to do her little pregame performance, and I was a little bit late. So I appreciate.
She's the one that gets thrown up in the air because she's small. But no. So he did the pre-show with me, and on it, which we had a little technical difficulties, but we were running through the card real fast there, and we got to the Moonshine and Manders match, and of course, out came two big meaty men slapping meat, right? You know, and it just. It just kind of migrated over, and there was a slap his meat chant, which even Hartzell was taken aback by.
Yeah.
Oh, it was good fun. So good time there to be had. We got a bunch of new first timers. First time we got to see Billy Starks in Journey Pro. That was wonderful.
Oh, that was awesome.
Like to see it in a longer match, but hey, you got to move the card along as you do. And Trevor Outlaw we've seen before, but he was managing the Bang Bros, who had one of the most interesting double team moves I've seen in a long while. And I'm gonna say that they did that little rolly thing into like a DDT spear bit. It was, I don't even know how to like explain it, but it was cool.
They're a solid tag team, ladies and gentlemen. They're worth a follow.
They're young, so they're going to only get better.
Yeah. Hey, if you're a promoter, sign them up. Their bus will come see you soon.
just stay off the bus, just for legal reasons. Wrong bus.
Or get on.
Whatever floats your boat there. But that was a good time. So, no official announcement yet for the next show, but other than it's going to be back in Agnes next month. So it is happening.
Yeah.
In October.
It's going to be back Agnes, late October. That's all we know.
Yep.
Hopefully we get an announcement here shortly. I need to talk to Chris. Chris is going to get himself married in a little bit over a week. Yay! So he's a little preoccupied with that. So that's really exciting for him.
Congratulations to Chris and Devin. Congratulations.
Yes, absolutely.
So he's got some stuff going on, but we'll keep you guys abreast. It was a good time. You can go also, like we always say, go check out Journey to Anarchy on Twitch. You can watch the replay. It was a fun show. It looks like Gary J and Christian Rose. Gary J is the next in line for Christian Rose, so
they're gonna fight. They're gonna fight hard.
Oh, and Mike is officially a Howlet now, so.
Mike is officially a Howlet. That's good stuff there. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff. I can't wait to see. I'm hoping we see a couple people at the show. I'm really hoping we get Abaddon. I don't know if we'll get Abaddon, but I really want it.
It's right around.
Shaza McKenzie's back in the States, so I'm really hoping we get Shaza McKenzie back in Kansas City. Loved seeing her. Hopefully she doesn't have to go against Gary Jane and get her chest absolutely caved in again. But no, like there's a couple things we may know a thing or two. We may not know a thing or two. Like things change. Cards always subject to change. But we know that the tag team tournament is going to continue in some way, shape, or form. As a qualifiers, is it actually the tournament? We don't know. Those are some of the things that is out there that we do know. But that's about it. So
keep an eye out. We will give you, as we get more information, we will definitely let you guys know for sure. So,
hills, yeah.
All right. So there's some other stuff we want to talk about, but before we get into that, every week we like to highlight somebody out there on the independent circuit, grinding, doing the work. Maybe you've heard of them, maybe you haven't. I don't know. But this time, and Jamie, do you have somebody ready for this week's Independent Wrestler Spotlight?
I do. I really do, ladies and gentlemen. And, it's October. It's spooky season. So why don't we go with somebody a little bit on the
spooky side?
Darker side.
Okay.
The more evil side. The more unpleasant side. You dig? That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to talk about none other than Ring of Honor's own, the righteous leader himself, the horror king, Vincent.
Ooh.
He's out there still grinding away. He's a bigger indie guy.
He's with Impact, but
yeah, kinda. But he's still on the independent circuit, so I'm gonna give him his due. And he's horror themed, okay? I just want to stick with the horror.
He had to get the horror theme. No, I get you there. Yeah, absolutely, I'm with you.
I mean, dude's been all over the place right now, and like obviously he's been on Impact. He's been doing a lot of local shows around where he's from. I would love to get him on the show. Not even lying. I would die to actually get him on the show. Just because I just want to just peer into his mind, because I think him and I have a lot of similarities in some things. I'm like, oh, we could talk for hours on this. Obviously,
yeah. You guys would close down. They'd be kicking you out of Agnes. Like, we have to go, guys. Stop talking, right?
No. We're dissecting this movie right now. Shut up. We're talking about Dahmer. Leave us alone. But you can follow Vincent at the Horror King VM. That's Victor Mary. On Twitter. I believe he's on Instagram too. I don't follow him on the Instagrams, but I do follow him on the Twitter. He's a solid Twitter follow as well.
Mm-hmm.
He posts a lot of his match information, lots of things going on, great pictures of him. He is very unique and very different, and I applaud him for that, because he has like a Rob Zombie meets, he looks
like
Son of
Rob
Sam
Zombie.
meets Charles Manson meets John Doe from Seven. Like, he's got all of these things wrapped into one, and I'm here for it. Big fan. Everybody should be too.
Absolutely. Vincent's fantastic. Good, very good choice there. Very fitting for the time of year also too. So please, links down below. Go follow Vincent. And from what I understand, I mean, we don't know what's up with Ring of Honor. We'll talk about some stuff Ring of Honor related later. But, he's still...
I got 10 days.
He's still kind of with that going on there anyway. So definitely give him a follow. And if you got a chance, go see him. Go support him wherever you're at.
Yes.
Well, we started something last week, Jamie. Before we get into other stuff, I think we should continue that.
I think it's a nice tie-in from Vincent.
Okay, let's go. So, spooky season, we're going to keep this up all month. Let's go.
Okay. So, this week, we're talking about some of our favorite, not so common scary movies that everybody should watch. Yes, of course, I could talk about my favorite in Hellraiser. No, ladies and gentlemen, I will not talk about the Hell Priest himself, Pinhead. But... the new one actually comes out tomorrow.
Look at that new on card Hell Priest you got there. Look at that.
I mean, it's pretty.
Ethan Page should be proud.
It's very pretty. It's NECA. It's awesome. He's got two faces, everything. Never been opened either. I refuse to open it. But anyway, the new Hellraiser happens to come out tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. And yes, I will be watching it. And yes, I will post something about it. It's going to happen. I've already got some good reviews, but that's not the movie I'm talking about. No. I would not do that to you. I'm going to actually talk about one of my favorite movies from 1986. There's a few things that you can guarantee are going to happen from 80s horror movies. You know what that is?
Teens get in trouble and there's death ensues.
There you go. So you have gratuitous teen angst, things of happening there. Potentially gratuitous nudity. You have rehash of old tropes that have been just blown out of proportion.
Yep.
And you have a terrible soundtrack.
And I'm assuming this is going to hit all those bells.
This hits absolutely everything. This is none other than 1986's Night of the Creeps.
Okay.
So this movie had Tom Atkins from from Halloween 3 fame and other obviously movies. He's a solid actor.
Yeah.
Also as Jason Lively, the original Rusty from National Lampoon's Vacation, as the main protagonist. And basically this movie is, hey, remember the Invasion of the Body Snatchers, with Donald Sutherland and everything?
Right.
That was actually
Yeah.
really good. It had like the little parasite things. Well, this one goes like, hey, why don't we make them giant slugs and let's camp the shit out of it. That's what this movie is. It's great. It's not scary like nowadays. It does not hold up. But if you want to laugh at 80s horror, this is a great one to laugh at, though it does have some good pieces to it that like make you appreciate the 80s. Just for what they were. Excellent movie. I support this 5,000,000%. Go watch Night of the Creeps and tell me what you think.
Okay, so a little campy, little cheese, but not intentionally campy or cheesy. So
it might have been
maybe a little bit, right? Okay.
Yeah. Like
all right,
like a guy who can't use his legs falls down and a slug goes into his mouth on the pot. Yeah. Mm-hmm. There you go.
I mean, that sounds almost like some trauma stuff. So okay. All right, and everybody that knows us knows that Jamie, and he's just giving you exhibits A and B real fast there of his surroundings. But Jamie is the horror movie guy. Jamie likes doing this because he knows that I'm not really into horror, but there are some. And it is spooky season, so I got to dig into what I am. And see, a lot of the movies that are horror movies that I do like, I don't necessarily consider them to be horror movies, right?
That's
a lot of them are like, I would think us a suspense movie. Well, it's actually a horror movie, one of those sort of things. And I'm really into zombie movies. I think that they're separate, but they're under the horror umbrella, of course, right?
They're a subgenre.
Absolutely. It's like saying, I don't like metal. I only like, post-hardcore. Well, it's like, well, that is metal. It's just a version of metal. Okay.
Yeah.
So my movie is from 2009. It's one of my favorite movies. A movie that didn't have huge box office success. And I wouldn't necessarily, it's been like a cult hit, but it's one of those sneaky movies that people are like, no, that movie banged. That movie was awesome, kind of one of those under the radar sort of things, I totally missed it when it came out in there, but it's one of my favorite movies. So 2009, Dennis Quaid on a spaceship in a little movie called Pandora.
Such a good movie. I love that movie.
It is amazing. It's got Norman Reedus in there from Walking Dead of fame, of course, the real fast, the quick synopsis without spoiling anything with it is that in the not too distant future, humanity is we like so many stories start off with, we jacked up this planet enough that we got to find another one, right? So there's basically a planet that they found, and they're going to it, and it's going to take, like, I don't know, 60 years, 50, 60 years, whatever to get there it is, something like that, right? Several thousand people on a ship. There's going to be multiple different ones. This is meant to be the first one, and if they get there and they succeed and they're able to survive and acclimate, then the rest of humanity eventually would come along to this new planet. We just relocate Earths, right? Or at least split our thing. Anyway, so they're because it's such a long trip, everybody's in cryosleep, and there's a rotation of flight crew, right? So Dennis Quaid is one of them. The main character is actually Ben Foster. Ben Foster has been in quite a lot of things there. He was in The Survivor, The Contractor, Hustle, 310 to Yuma, Hell or High Water, bunch of stuff, right? And that's the newer 310 to Yuma, by the way. Just because you're watching. Yeah. He's not that old. He wakes up, but he gets out of his pod, but nobody's there to like greet him. Like you're supposed to be relieved by the person, you wake up, right? But so he doesn't know what's going on. He can't find anybody, and everything looks abandoned on the ship, right? It doesn't know what's going on. Well, long story short, some stuff went afoul. There's crazy monsters on the ship that are hunting people, and it is a fantastic space thriller. I mean, it's got a twinge of Alien to it, just a little bit of, maybe some Event Horizon, vibes here and there, and survival horror in space with a really, I thought, good twist ending. The reveal is like, oh, I enjoy it thoroughly. If you haven't checked it out, Pandorum from 2009, go check it out.
It's solid.
It is a horror movie, right? That does count as a horror movie.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Right.
Absolutely. It's under the subgenre probably of sci-fi horror. That's probably the best way to put it.
Sci-fi horror is another suspenseful one. I like the suspense more than I like the gore. So.
Oh, I like gore. Gore. We might talk about Dead Alive. Lawnmower scene. Let's go. Hey, you want to talk some wrestling now?
I do. Give me 1 second. My buddy just had a baby. Yay! All right.
Hey, baby!
Congratulations, Zeke. It's about time. So anyway, let's talk wrestling. So,
yay! Do you have a girl or a boy?
I do not know. I just he just texted out.
I mean, if it's a boy, I don't know what it is. I know what girls are.
You don't know what that feels like. You don't know what it looks like.
No.
All right, so we made mention of Journey Pro's next show, end of October-ish, right? There's also other stuff going on. So recently you brought up to my attention, and we may be going to St. Louis, not for a Cardinals game as much as I'd like to, or a Blues game. They're out of town this particular weekend because there is a Glory Pro show that lines up with our schedules.
It does.
You have yet to go to Glory Pro, so
I know, like we've talked about going and we have not made it happen. And I think this one's gonna be a good one because the Wasteland War Party are gonna be there, and Shaza's gonna be there. Jake Something's gonna be there. You got Matt. Oh God. You got Matt Seidel. And Delirious going against Dan the Dad of Warhorse just got announced.
Hell yeah.
I mean, come on now. Come on now.
And it's on Sunday, October 30th. It's like a matinee show. So it's like 2:00 bell time. That works out wonderful for a Sunday show.
Yes, that means we can get home at a decent time.
Yeah, especially when you're driving across the state. So it's like, so we're thinking about going. Anybody out there, give us a comment or give us a tweet. Let us know if you've been to Glory Pro, if you want to go to Glory Pro, what your thoughts are. If you know what Glory Pro is, I mean, any of that.
Yeah, they've announced a few more matches. Like Tootie Lynn's going to be in action.
Cool.
Kenny Alfonso, Camaro Jackson, Mike Outlaw, and Xavier Walker in a match together. Like I said, we have the Wasteland War Party of Max and Heidi going against Rohit Raju and Karam. So I mean, they got a few things announced here. Jake Something going against Ethan Price. I bet. Oh, Laney Luck going against Shaza McKenzie.
There you go.
I bet there's gonna be an Ethan Page sighting, probably a Danhausen sighting as well. Be lots of good stuff, man. I'm really looking forward to it. Cody Lane.
I'm excited.
You got Matt Fitchett and Davey Vega.
Dan's been doing great things with that promotion. So, I mean...
Agreed.
Is it the pageant? It's at the pageant, right?
It is at the pageant.
Hell yeah. So, great place to watch.
Broadway Athletic Club. South Broadway Athletic
Club. Oh, okay. They do some shows at the pageant. So,
yeah.
Regardless.
WrestleMax does there. Yeah.
Is that who does? Okay. Somebody wrestles at the pageant. I know that.
Yeah.
Which, those of you not familiar in St. Louis, that's famous theater over there in St. Louis. Lots of concerts happen. Also coming to St. Louis soon is the return of GCW.
Hell yeah.
December 3rd. Saturday, December 3rd. And it's technically on the Illinois side, right? Because it's, yeah. But look out. We're talking Effie and Alley Catch, maybe Nick Wayne, right? Nick Gage, Gringo Loco, ASF. I mean, It's we don't know if we're going to be able to swing it yet. It's a little far out for us to plan that far. But we didn't get to go to the last GCW in St. Louis, and I really want to go to this one.
I do too. Yep. It's a thing. I want to make it happen, Captain.
We'll have to make it happen. I'm free that weekend. Next weekend I can't go. I was offered tickets to go to Revolver the next weekend, but I'm indisposed. So the third, we got to make it happen. All right. What do you want to talk about? I mean, we got Dynamite that happened last night, which was the 3-year anniversary of Dynamite. Anything you want to get into though?
I mean, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about how it is National Scissoring Day. Yep, that's right. National Scissoring Day. No, like that was a fun segment. I really enjoyed how that all played out, the whole thing all the way through. I mean, Anthony Bowen saying he knows a thing or two about scissoring, and I just popped. I popped hard for that one.
He's the Sultan of Scissor.
He is the Sultan of Scissor Man. Like dude, he was so good. Billy Gunn was great. When Swerve came out, he was hated and booed. And he pulled out a Rock. It's like Rock always beats Scissor. I'm like, oh my god, it's so dumb. But they called him Sneaky Swerve, which I loved. Dude, that was just such a fun segment. That was the funnest part of the night.
That was by far my part of the night. My highlight of the night for sure. I mean, there's one match I did really enjoy, but aside from the fact of how over the Acclaimed is and everything, and we talked about this before, ridiculous. The sheer just comedy value, if you would, that the scissoring went from something that they were told explicitly not to do because the TV sponsors, the TVs were like at the very beginning when when he would do it, to now being the biggest thing in all of wrestling is amazing. They hit on every level. Like Bowens didn't miss, Caster didn't miss. Billy Gunn did just enough, as he should, what he needed to do for what he is. He knows how to do this, So it hit on every single level. It was expertly done. It's definitely one of those things that's like they're getting that right, 100%.
Yes, and speaking of their shirt is the number one shirt in 2022. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you happen to look at T-Shirt Tuesday, but they have released the pink variant of that shirt, and somebody on the show said if that shirt ever came in pink, he would buy it. And I am glad to report that is the case. Jamie has bought it, and it will be at his house and whenever I get it. But I will wear it on the show. I have my Scissor Me Daddy Ass shirt coming in pink, and I'm very happy.
And I'm probably going to buy it too. Let's be real.
Dude, it's so fucking good. But yeah, so another positive. I will let's stick with some positives because we're gonna go negative pretty hard here pretty quick.
Yeah, let's go positives, please.
Okay, women's segments. Lots of women's segments.
Only one match.
We've only got one match.
and Tony keeps just adding more people to the match for what it's worth. So okay, Tony, you're putting them on there, but there was like 3 or 4 other segments of women in this show. A show that was not a lot of promos too. So
yeah, like Willow Nightingale. Willow Nightingale called out
Jade.
What's Jade? Thank you. Again,
that bitch.
Which whatever, it's great. They had the piece with Britt saying that Saraya can't wrestle, which I thought was great because it's total work. Those two are gonna end up going at it in full gear. Calling it now.
Oh yeah.
Put it on your calendars. Full gear.
You're not even getting a stamp for that. That's too easy.
No, that's just common knowledge at this point. No, but like they had some good things. The match actually was pretty decent, honestly. It wasn't like the greatest match in the whole wide world. It was a good match. It was better than some of the other matches, like the Luchasaurus match. That was just dumb. Poor Fuego.
Poor
Fuego.
Year ago was the most over man in all of wrestling, and now he's just 2-move squash match.
Yeah, how the mighty have fallen.
Sky Blue got a segment with Maz and Rain, which is cool. It was good.
I like that too. The match of the night by far was the very first match of MJF Wheeler Yuta. Oh my God. Technical wrestling made just a go-go. Perfect.
They were right to lead off with that match. That match was the best wrestling match. Although I did like the TNT title match. Not going to lie.
Oh, so did I. It was a lot better than I was expecting.
I'm
glad it went longer.
Yes, that's the whole point. But Yuta's getting over by far, and MJF he's not doing what we expected, but he keeps kind of dropping these hints about him being face, right? As after the match, out comes Lee Moriarty. I get Lee Moriarty and Shoddy Lee all mixed up because it's like they're both Lee, so it's like, come on, man. Lee Moriarty comes out and MJF's like, I didn't tell you to do this. What are you doing? I didn't tell you to do this, because he was teasing like he was going to shake his hand, which he wasn't going to shake Wheeler's hand. We all know that. He was going to slip and give him the finger or something, right? But
I don't know.
And then out came Stokely Hathaway to give him the ring, and he begrudgingly took it and put it on and was going to use it, which of course drew a much more subdued William Regal. William Regal wasn't he must have taken his medication because he wasn't hot to trot for Excalibur tonight on the mic.
Yeah, he was okay, but I loved how that ended, because he literally just walked up, put the brass knucks on, and just gave him the fuck around, find out look. You know what I mean? Like, he just straight.
First shot, go. Right, one of those things.
Come on. Right, come on, Cletus. Come on. You walk over, but you limp back. Yeah, that's exactly what's like.
So he's definitely, if there is the face turn, like you and some others have clamored for, it is slow playing like hell, which is not bad.
Which I love. Yeah.
And I don't know. I kind of think this is a good place for him, because it's hilarious. Because his music sounds, the crowd goes apeshit wild, and then he comes out and he gets booed by every one of those same people in the crowd.
It's beautiful.
It's perfect.
Everybody wants to see him.
He's a heel.
Everybody wants to hate him too.
He's a heel that they love to see. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You don't need to be face.
Yeah, he's great. Like, I've always been a big fan of him from the jump. And now seeing this, like, they can keep him in this tweener spot. Like, legit, have him mess with the crowd, and they could do that for months.
I mean, you could put him against
maybe a year.
He's gonna go. They're gonna have him up against Moxley eventually, maybe at Full Gear. Probably at Full Gear. But you can put him up against.
Talk about Mox?
Do what?
Can we talk about Mox? Can we talk about what he said and how it wasn't necessarily directed at one Adam Hangman Page?
Yeah, we can talk about Mox. Go for it.
So there is that segment between Mox and Page, or he's like, I respect you, I think you're great, all this stuff, but when that bell rings and it's for this title, I don't respect Jack beep, because they don't allow him to say the S word anymore, because I guess they did kind of go a little nuts with it.
A little crazy, so the network's like
yeah. But then Hangman's like, well, why we gotta wait? You've been waiting for this for 3 years, let's just do it now. And then legit, this is the thing that got me. He looked at him dead in the eye. He's like, you're a sweet kid. You're a sweet kid. You're a young guy. You're a young kid. And like these other young guys, you talk shit and it gets you in trouble. And it's like, as soon as he said that, I'm like, oh, I know what that's about.
Absolutely. It was not even a veiled backhanded comment, just a straight right cross at Sammy Guevara.
Yeah, so riddle me this, Batman. Riddle me this. You are in a backstage skirmish twice.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you get reprimanded for that? Oh, you get to be in the main event of the 3-year anniversary, and you're the one who gets put over. You get the win. You get the pin even.
I mean, it does not make the most sense.
What kind of message do you think that is? Regardless if he started it or anything like that, because I believe there's 3 gentlemen right now who are currently suspended that may or may not have started anything.
Well, that's where I was going to go to it too. Now that's all pending litigation from what we've heard. There's legal ramifications.
Yeah.
Whatever. I think you and I and the rest of the world can agree we're ready to see Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks back in AEW. It definitely is missing something without them.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing. Where are they at next week?
They're in Toronto.
Kenny Omega, Canadian. Hello.
I know. And
but
maybe they'll get some figure. But the thing is, like, well, yeah, you're not wrong. Sammy, it definitely feels like it's one of those. It's like, I know you messed up, but you're so good and I like you, so I'm going to keep doing this, because he got, in essence, he got a minor suspension, did whatever for the whole Sasha Banks thing at the beginning of the pandemic, right? Terrible things he said, the way he said it, but he made amends he manned up, he made amends, he talked to, okay, cool, right? He did that. And there was the whole thing with Impact, how there was something going on when they're going to have him wrestle against, when Impact and AEW had their kind of, interchange there. And that got all screwed up. It almost ruined, from what we heard, it almost ruined their relationship altogether, the companies. Okay, no repercussions for that, really. Then you have this twice with Eddie Kingston. Now he's attacking, going after Andrade, which is kind of, let's be real. That's low-hanging fruit to go on a Twitter war against Andrade, because nothing he said was wrong. I'm going to say that.
Yeah.
Okay, nothing that Sammy said was wrong, but it's also stuff that didn't need to be said, just period.
Yeah, you didn't need to say that. You were pissed off because he called you out on a Spanish-speaking podcast because you handled it incorrectly the first time.
Right.
He even said, I came to you and all this stuff, and then you handled it wrong, so he's the one I've had problems with. And, like, he's basically kind of reiterating the same things that Eddie Kingston said in 100%. In some aspects. And yet Andrade's sent home. He's not going to be wrestling on Rampage now. And Sammy gets to be in the main event and get put over. Like, what the actual fuck? Like, it just drives me nuts. Like, does Sammy have dirt on Tony? Like, that's where I'm at with this thing. Like, how is this guy, like, he's like a cat. He's got 9 lives at this point. Regardless if he started it or not, he's been associated with two fights. And then he said the stuff about Sasha. Like, there's smoke, there's fire here.
Yeah.
And even TMZ is the one who reported this, which is more reputable than, I don't know, Wrestle Talk. But, some of these others, they're out there. And it's just ridiculous at this point. Like, it is ridiculous. He is driving me nuts. Like, if they're going to work this into some kind of shoot angle thing, whatever, this is the dumbest possible thing, because this backstage heat thing that they've been trying to quell and squash and all those things. I just used the wrong words. I don't even care. But my God, like,
it feels
don't do this, Tony.
It feels like, to be honest with you, I think that is exactly the point that Tony is trying to do. He is making this, a plot point, and it's obvious. There's almost, I wouldn't say it's there, but there's almost nuclear heat on Sammy, right?
Sammy's out. The crowd hates him.
Yeah, Sammy's out there doing Spanish flies and all this stuff, and the crowd cheers, and then goes, "You still suck," chance, then break out, right? So there's almost nuclear heat on him. Okay, is that the whole point? You're trying to make him be as big of a heel as you possibly can? You don't have anybody rising up to meet him on the other side of that. That's the only reason you do that, right? So when you're booking somebody that bad, right, you have nobody on the other side to meet them, and you've done it the proper way with MJF. It's like you've made the perfect cake. Stop making fucking cakes, okay? Just
for real.
You don't need to. No, it's perfect. It's good. Leave it. No, don't make another one. Just give me. That's what it feels like. That's Fat Boy talking there. Okay, he's like, cake sounds delicious right now.
It does.
Oh, so good. We digress. No, I don't know. I don't know what else the purpose would be from that. I think that it's. I think he's definitely. I think TK. While we give him some credit, some people are definitely in his ear. I truly believe JR is one of those. Right. He hasn't been on commentary for like a month. Right. He might have some health things going on. He does live in Florida, so there may be some stuff. Geographic things going on. That I don't know. He was outside Jacksonville now, so they weren't really hit by the hurricane. But I tend to believe that JR's there. He's just backstage. He's doing that thing. Because TK needs him there. Let's be honest. He doesn't need him on commentary.
No.
You got great commentators, With that being said, there's still some big swings, hits and misses that he's been doing, Putting Sammy out front and continuing to put the spotlight on the Jericho Appreciation Society. Part of that might be because of the whole Young Bucks and the Elite situation, because he's resting his laurels on Jericho because he can and he needs. Okay, I get that. Meanwhile, Miro hasn't had a match in like 3 months. Andrade's basically being run out the door, which is probably what he wants, to be honest with you there.
Yeah.
We talked about Malachi, but he's taking some time off for himself. But while he's doing that, the House of Black had a couple things and then they've disappeared, right? Dark Order is being systematically destroyed, It's like this is the perfect time not to promote Sammy because he's going to have that heat next time he shows his face on TV. Regardless, you have other toys to play with.
Yeah. And like he's getting X-Pac heat. Like I don't want him on my television.
Yeah.
It's X-Pac heat. Yes, he's talented. Yes. His vlog's annoying. He's annoying. Like
his relationship
he's a
with Ty
boy, basically.
He's
basically a 12-year-old boy, and it's frustrating. Like the way he's able, like he's that kid who's got the parent who won't discipline him, so he thinks he has free reign to do anything.
He's that
spoiled little brat.
He's that chick from NXT fandom with the parents that have got the dude. Got one of the rascals like blackballed or whatever because
Mm-hmm.
I remember her. I don't remember her name, but I know that kid. That anyway, you're not wrong. And here's the funniest thing: Sammy beat Miro for a TNT title, one of the best TV matches that there had been up to that point on, and he was so popular. It was the feel-good moment of, a good spell there.
Yeah.
And then just immediately since then, boo, to the point where we're like, get the belt off of him. Somebody please beat him. No, don't give it back to him. What are you doing? And then it just keeps going on. Maybe it's a work. I don't know.
At this point, I don't even care.
Like
he has put that much disdain in my mouth. Like the taste is just bad. Diet Pepsi bad. Got that nasty aftertaste. If you like Diet Pepsi, like you got Kill Kit stored somewhere. Like that's how I feel about Diet Pepsi. Like
wow. Who on the bingo card that Jamie's gonna bury Diet Pepsi?
yeah, it's happening. But no, like I hate him.
Gotcha. And here's the part that kills me with this too. Tony, he knows he has important pieces on the shelf because he brought out Brian Cage to go up against Wardlow. Finally, a competitor for Wardlow that makes sense, we believe can beat him, and that he was given the opportunity to actually do that which is by all accounts a pretty remarkable match because then he had two massive guys doing things that their bodies should not be doing, sort of stuff. Both of them,
Yeah, it was phenomenal. I was stoked about that match.
I'm glad it got more than 5 minutes because I was like, they're going to bury Brian first. No, he didn't, so.
They did not bury him, which was nice.
Which is, you could have done more of that. You can have more women's matches, Tony. You can have 2 women's matches. Just saying, I don't know. You're right, and the fact that they end with that, it's overall the show was, like I said, opener was good. The women's match was not bad. I liked the Brian Cage thing. Scissoring Day was awesome. But other than that, mostly the show just kind of meh. I feel like they're missing something, and I think that something is the Elite. Honest to God.
I don't. So I want to disagree with you so bad, just because then we could have some kind of banter here. But you're not wrong. Like, and the thing is, like, they're still doing fine. Like, yes, Jericho has picked up the flag and he's waving it hard, AEW flag really hard. Same with Bryan Danielson. Same with Moxley. Like, those guys have been the pillars who step up while all this stuff has happened, and they've done a phenomenal job. But now it's been a month. Things are starting to quiet down a little bit. You still have this drama that's going on. You're rewarding people for some of the drama. You're suspending other people for the drama. Completely not equitable whatsoever. It's just a weird place right now, and like they do need that spark on the TV. Like if Kenny Omega comes out on Wednesday's Dynamite in Toronto,
just even comes out. Doesn't have to wrestle.
Just comes out. I feel like that's a huge win.
Absolutely.
I really do. I feel like that's a big win for them.
I am with you, and I feel, and this is the part that I really get, because you talked about this when we were talking about the women, because I feel like they are doing the due diligence they probably should have done 2.5 years ago of laying the groundwork to have an actual women's division, right? You saw that Madison Rayne introduced her as a coach, and then there's Sky Blue, this young, fresh, future star. They're propping her up. Willow Nightingale's getting featured. Jamie Hayter's probably the biggest star right now in the women's division. You have all that. Toni Storm's still on your TV every week because look at her, but she can go. And Britt's been there, but not the focus. It's been good for all. They're doing the right things, Oh, shout out and get well to Ruby, by the way. Hey, Ruby, she had successful surgery on her nose, so she'll be back soon.
And how'd she break that again?
And that'd be Tay Conti doing Tay Conti things at All Out.
Oh yeah, she's totally safe.
But they still even had Tay Conti and Anna Jay, as part of that. But her wrestling abilities aside, you got to have heels in this division too. But I feel like they're laying the good groundwork for that, and I feel like it's just like, everything else just feels like something's missing. And I don't know what else it can be. I think that maybe that's it, that he just doesn't have that extra piece. And maybe there's the uncertainty about CM Punk. So is it a domino effect that affects everything else? He doesn't know what to really put. You've had this Roosh versus Adam Page thing, which has been going on for Rampage for the past couple of weeks. Okay. Then you prop it right into the second hour of Dynamite. And a lot of people watch Dynamite, don't necessarily watch Rampage. Let's be honest. Okay. Ratings are what they are. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what else I don't know. It just feels like
they're missing something.
They're missing something. Yeah. But it's not like it's a bad something either, too. This was, by all accounts, 3 years in. 3-year anniversary show. If you remember back to the very first night, it was all fun and excitement. It was just a spot fest of wrestling, right? Because they didn't know.
Yeah.
Had no stories to go on. So they're like, fucking do something, right? And each year's gotten better. I think that overall, it's a more mature promotion.
I agree.
Because of that, there's a lot of moving pieces to it. You guys let us know what you think,
Please. I would like to hear somebody, 1, defend Sammy, or 2, defend Diet Pepsi. I dare you.
I used to drink Diet Pepsi when I was a kid for a spell.
I drink Diet Coke. I drink that.
I moved to Diet Coke, and then I drank Diet Coke for years before I quit soda.
Yeah, Diet Dr Pepper tastes just. I mean, it legit is regular Dr Pepper just with a slight aftertaste. Like it's actually solid.
I've always hated Dr Pepper of any flavor.
Well, that's funny because like there's a lot of people out there who hate it. And I'm like, I'm not
Can't.
one of them. I love it because I love root beer and stuff like that. Like
I
it
love
has,
root beer.
Like, root beer.
I love root
It
beer.
feels
I
like root
can't.
beer.
I can't. It does not. I don't know. It's got a weird twang to it that I just can't get behind. It's like, I don't know. It's weird. Dr. Pepper is very much that Sammy Guevara of drinks. People love it or they hate it.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to bury Dr. Pepper. Well, maybe I am. Fuck Dr. Pepper. There we go. That's what we're going with.
You just shit on college football, which is going to be in Lawrence, Kansas on Saturday, baby. Let's go. Rock Chalk.
Good for them. Although, okay. I had the news on in the background when I was making some PowerPoints for Summit I gotta do. I gotta give some presentations next week, right? So I had the news on in the background, mostly because I like to hear the weather. You know, I just want to know like how I need to dress, right? But I had the news on in the background, and they had a guy there that was doing, you know, spots from outside the stadium, and they're expecting we could have up to 50,000 people at game day, and I go, okay. No game day's gotten more than 18,000 or so, right? None of them. Not at the national championship, not Ohio State or the Red River rivalry or any, and they're like, we're going to have 50,000. I go, slow down. Your stadium doesn't even fit 50,000.
You know how we do it around here. Do you remember how many people showed up for when the Royals won? Do you remember how many people showed up for when the Chiefs won? You weren't there, but I was there.
I was not.
People go nuts. Yep. People go nuts around here, especially KU fans. Like
I hear you. I
mean, this is the first time we've had a football team in 13 years, man. 13 years. Okay,
St. Louis when the Blues won, they had a little bit more than what the Royals had for their parade too. So when Denver won the Super Bowl, or no, was it their Super Bowl? Or was it it was the Super. When Denver won the Super Bowl 50, they had, I think, like 2.5 million. Atlanta had Toronto had like 7 million people or something stupid on the parade route, or no, it was like 4 million. I don't know. I'm making up numbers now, but I don't know. I'm just saying, I get that it's going to be packed. It's going to be a great atmosphere for all you red leggers out there. They're into this sort of shit, but to get more than double what's ever been done for a college game day. Okay, slow down. Maybe you will. And if you do, fantastic. Good for you. But come on. I don't know where we just went totally off the rails
there. we kind of did. We kind of did.
Yeah.
So actually, as of this writing too, that there's a lot. There's some people in AEW disputing what TMZ is reporting already. So again. Here we go with those rumors, man. Here we go with those rumors.
My favorite sign from tonight. There's a lot of good scissor signs. The scissor section was fantastic. Loved that. Lots of good signs throughout the night. My favorite sign was a very simple sign. If you look on, and it was during basically the last third of the show is when I noticed it. But looking from the fixed camera straight at the ring, just over to the right-hand side. It says, hire HR staff.
Amen.
And I'm like,
Amen.
that's about it, right? Growing pains, Hey, a wrestling company ran by wrestlers, right? Is bound to have some speed bumps along the way, and hey, these are them. How do you learn from this? Well, you got to trust the right people. You got to make the right moves. You got to not just double down and be all about yourself, TK, which is the fatal WCW error, right? I don't think he will.
Yep.
I don't think he will.
I think he'll write it. I do, because like he's had flashes, I just he needs more help. I'm sorry, like he's just now starting to build more staff. Like he needs more. Like, I'm not even kidding.
He needs a good amount. He needs a couple solid people at the top. I know that just sounded like I made a comparison to what WWE's corporate structure was for the past 30 years. It's not, right? It's not Vince McMahon and Kevin Dunn and Johnny Ace. No, but he needs, couple people up there because he's also still a VP for the Jaguars. He has an actual real job. He's a vice president of analytics for the Jaguars, right? Who are they're actually not terrible this year, but
which is insane.
I mean, there's only so much time in a day, and you gotta get some more people in there, especially with what's going on with ROH. They are obviously doing something ROH. I mean, you even had the whole TNT title match was to prop up Brian Cage's faction, the tag team, Khan's tag team, the Pillars of Agony, set up for an ROH tag title match against. I mean, they got to be doing stuff. So, I would love to see a comment down below, somebody defending Sammy. I want to hear it. Let's see it. Somebody give it to me. Let's go.
Yeah, and we won't attack you or anything like that. Like, I'm always up to have a solid discussion. We can completely disagree. That is totally fine.
Right.
Like, I'm one of those people, like, I don't mind. We can not see eye to eye. I still respect you.
I know that there are those people who still love, no matter what, Sammy Guevara, right? And I don't dislike the kid, right? I do. You do. I think he's still, wrestling-wise, he's got all the skills, right?
Agreed.
I think that, I don't know. But there are definitely people who are fully in his camp too. So let's hear it.
Yeah.
All right. What else you got? Anything else for this week? Anything else? Float your boat, trip your trigger, wet your whistle.
No, not really. I'm just really wanting it to get to Friday now so I can watch the new Hellraiser.
Dying to get Hellraiser. I've been watching Andor on Fridays too. I know it comes out on Wednesdays, but you've not been following along with it since the first 3 episodes.
Yep. Nope. I'm waiting for it all to come out. I'll watch it all in one sitting and figure out if I'm gonna hate it or not.
That's probably
the first 3 episodes. It's leaning towards hate because it was so slow, but it got there for me. I'm like, okay, this has got potential. Don't WandaVision me.
Yeah, and here's the thing, and we're on Tangent World now, people. We're gonna wrap up in just a second, but for those of you who only care about wrestling, hey, sorry, we're gonna go on Tangent World for a second. Yes, people talk glowingly about WandaVision, and I liked WandaVision. I also felt it was by far the weakest of the Marvel TV shows. Yes, I have not
She-Hulk yet.
I have not seen She-Hulk or Moon Knight yet. Just FYI.
I enjoyed Moon Knight actually.
I'm excited to see it. I just hadn't gotten around to it. I just told you missed it. And I've heard She-Hulk is meant to be its own. It's a different sort of show, is what I've been told. Different sort of thing.
Yeah.
Right? That being said, I wanted to like WandaVision a lot more than I actually did.
It was slow, but then when it got there hard. Like, that was the thing. Like, it got there, I'm like, yes, but literally is 2.5 episodes.
Well,
like, that was the whole show.
And we're not going to spoil it. It's been out for a while, so who gives a shit? But we're not going to spoil it for those of you who maybe haven't watched it and want to be surprised. But it got to where you thought it was going to get to, right, at the very beginning. But they gave you like 4 different swerves. Oh, they're going to go this way. Oh, there's this way. Oh, no, that's the big. Oh, no, it's this way all along. It's like, well, what the fuck, man? Because they pussyfoot around, and then they go like 100 miles an hour with like these, like, this is the way it's going to go. Oh, no, it's going this way. Oh, no, no, you're right the first time. And then it ends, right? Just boom. I don't know. I was really into it at first because I'm like, this is weird as shit. What's going on? And then after like the second episode, oh, okay, I understand everything. I know what's happening now. But it took forever to get to that point. I like Andor's 4th episode. I thought it was a lot. Good setup. I think that it'd be interesting to see because I'm in it now. I'm watching it weekly, but it's interesting to see your comment once you watch it in a straight through because a lot of these are so much better. I don't think Loki was, but I think a lot of them are a lot better served as a straight shot, right?
Yeah, Loki is perfect.
Loki's was awesome and it was great. I think Kenobi, which I know you don't like in general, but Kenobi is better suited as like as a straight through thing.
Agreed.
A bunch of them. You guys, if you're still with us here, give us your thoughts. As we talk about more nerd shit here on a wrestling podcast, we should make a nerd podcast separately because we could talk
total nerd fest.
It may or may not be coming. I might have to start working on a logo. No, okay, so
no.
For those of you
back to wrestling, fuck Sammy.
Fuck Sammy, but support your.
And Andrade's kind of a petty little guy too, so it's fine.
He is. It's the worst kept secret that he wants to be back in WWE where his wife is. Okay, sure, go right.
He's not been on TV for personal reasons because whatever.
And they're propping Roosh up with Jose by himself for this purpose. Let's be real. They did sign Bandito. Did you see that? Bandito accepted the contract.
Yes, Bandito is all elite, baby. That made me happy.
Don't know if that's for ROH thing or if it's for. I hope it's for AEW because you could put
because he's amazing.
You could just. I hate to even say this, but you could take Andrade, move him out, plug him in there. Bandito and Roosh with Jose the assistant. That works just fine for me.
I want to see Rey Fenix versus Bandito.
I want to see that a lot. I just want to see. And I know it's spare me
Lucha Libre.
Spare me the trope, right? You're putting all the Mexican guys against each other. Yes, I am, because that would just make my night every week.
I mean, Bandito versus Wardlow would still be a fun, entertaining match.
Bandito versus Moxley would be fun. Bandito versus anybody on here would be fun. He is top tier.
Yeah, but like to your point, if I want filthy Spanish shit, I don't want to half-ass it. I want to whole-ass it. If I'm gonna whole-ass it, I'm gonna go with the top flyers: Rey Fenix, Pac, Dante Martin. Like, give me some of that.
Go.
Give me some of the flyers.
Let's go. Right? Let's just overload that shit.
Please and thank you.
Well, that's what we got here. Let us also, if you're still with us, let us know. Total Nerd Fest. Do you want to hear us nerd out a little bit separately? I mean, I'd be down for that. We'll see what we can do. Let us know. Yes or no. But we'll be back next week regardless. We do have some business to take care of this weekend also. As you guys know. Yep. Yeah, you almost forgot, didn't you?
It's not my belt, so it's fine.
That's a good point. It's going to be my belt soon. So we do have a belt that we do for picks. We like to do it for all the big ones for AEW. We also include Impact Wrestling in that, and then occasionally some other ones. ROH, maybe WWE. Who knows? We kind of throw it out there. But we like to do for sure AEW, and we've been including all the big four, that is, from Ring of Honor, or from Impact Wrestling, excuse me. And this weekend is Bound for Glory. One of the biggest Impact Wrestling pay-per-views with some holy good goddamn good matches happening. Most notably, Masha Slamovich challenging Jordan Grace for the women's title. You watched last week the Pick Your Poison match for Masha. It was right, Jamie, the Monsters Ball between Alley Catch and Masha on Impact. Oh.
It was amazing. It was everything I wanted and then some. Like, that's how good it was.
And for those that dog, this was after we got to see Chris Bay team up with his Bullet Club brethren, Ace Austin, and go up against Trey Miguel and Lince Dorado. I mean, boom! But you got a slew of other matches happening as well there. We are going to do our picks for it. And next week, we're going to let you know if we have, or who is, this guy, the new champion for Total Spotfest picks. So we have that coming up here. But we'll also have whatever else happened. Next week is the Toronto show. It's a big effing deal. So we'll have to see how they do. I don't know. I'm with you. If they have a little cleaner action at the end of the show, it'll be a win for me. If not,
please.
Let's see what happens. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We do truly appreciate your time. Absolutely do. We also appreciate your support. It definitely helps us out if it's your first time. Like and subscribe down below. Helps us out quite a bit if you're watching on YouTube. If you're listening to us on your favorite podcast station, leaving a review helps us out immensely. So we appreciate any support you do, or none of it. Who gives a shit, right? But we would appreciate it if you could do that. So
helps us a lot.
It does help us a lot if you do want to do it, but you don't have to. But if you do, it helps us a lot. All right.
No, you have to. Don't tell them they don't have to.
It's kind of like that. It's kind of that old meme. It's like, no. Yeah. No.
Yeah. Just give us a like, man.
Just click the like.
One like will save Jamie from bashing on Diet Pepsi one time.
And a subscribe will prevent JJ from burying Dr. Pepper any further.
See? There you go.
This is how we save the sodas, guys. All right. We will see you guys next week. Jamie, take us home, man.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not down with Spotfest, I got 3 words for you. Scissor me timbers.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Peace.